Eichelberger, the Impact Lab and Academic Technology Coordinator, and these are some of my life lessons. My parents taught me a lot of life lessons. They were divorced when I was young, and by watching them in their relationship, I learned that if I want to make my relationship work with my husband, that we were going to have to work hard at it. Nothing comes easy in life, so if it's important, you have to work at it. Being married for 26 years in 15 more days, having a long relationship teaches someone a lot of things. My husband and I met when I was a sophomore in high school, and he was a senior, and we've been together ever since. Probably the most important life lesson from this long-lasting relationship is that relationships have to be give and take. It's not all about what I want or all about what he wants, it's about what we want. And so we have to share in that. We have to give and take for each other. The biggest life lesson from being a mom is that there is really such a thing as unconditional love. No matter what they do to me, no matter what they say, I'm a mom. I'm always going to be there for them. Having kids, I knew there would be expenses involved with having kids, whether it's taking them to the doctor or them being involved in extracurricular activities, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. I knew that there would be costs involved, but I guess I was really surprised at how much it really costs. Family is most important to me. Nothing in life matters more than family to me. And so to have my two grown children now who are out of the house, so I'm an empty nester, which is difficult, is wonderful. I have a daughter, she's the oldest. Her birthday is August 25th, and she just turned 25, so she just had her golden birthday. She has two children, two daughters. The oldest will be turning 3 this weekend, Sunday, and her youngest turned 1 in June, both girls, so 2 granddaughters. My daughter's name is Ryan. I don't know, you guys are probably way too young to know this, but she was named after a soap star in my time as a kid, from Ryan's Hope, a soap opera. And my son is Jonathan Keith. He's named after both my husband and my brother who passed away. He is 23, turned 23 in May, and he has 2 children. The oldest is 5, the youngest will turn 1 in December, and he's expecting again. Well, he's not expecting, but my daughter-in-law to be is expecting. So I'll have 5 grandchildren by March. My grandma has always been my inspiration. I'm gonna cry because she was just put in the hospital last night. My grandma's always been a hard worker, always, her whole life. She started a business when she was young. She lived in Texas. It was an upholstery business. And she moved to Illinois because my dad was really sick when he was only 4 and needed surgery. They ended up not going back to Texas. They stayed here after my dad's surgery because there were complications. And my grandma has another son besides my dad. My uncle is my godfather, and 2 daughters also. Our family is very close. As I mentioned, family is everything to me, probably because of my grandma. She's done everything her whole life to be there for her children, to support them, and to give them anything they needed or wanted. I hope that I can be half of the grandma that my grandma is, or half the mom that my grandma is to my dad and my aunts and uncle. But the biggest life lesson, most important life lesson that my grandma taught me was that if you want something, you work, and you work hard and get it. I graduated from Lewis in 1988 with my bachelor's degree. My degree was in social work and psychology. I'm very much a people person. I love working with people, doing things for people, and helping them get what they want, or helping them be successful, helping them through struggles. And social work and psychology was the field I thought was important to me. The problem was that I would have to close cases and walk away from those people that I had established some sort of relationship with. And so I couldn't stay working in that field. So I went back working in our family business because at the time I realized I couldn't stay working in my field. My dad approached me and said that I was needed. So I went back working for our family, which was good for me, but we decided in 1996 to close part of our family business. And I thought it was an opportunity that I could take advantage of and go out and get what I considered a real job. And so I started substitute teaching, and I was working a lot in academics and found that it was really becoming a passion of mine. So having already a relationship established here at Lewis, I decided that it would be advantageous for me to come back and see if there were any positions available for me. So I came back on a Monday after telling my husband that on a weekend that I was going to come to Lewis and apply for a job. Came out on a Monday, found out what positions were here. Came back on Tuesday because at the time we weren't applying online or anything. So I came back on Tuesday, filled out applications. Came back on Wednesday to meet someone in one of the positions that I had applied for. Came back on Thursday and interviewed for the position. And on Friday they called and offered me a job to start the next Monday. So determination paid off. And I loved Lewis when I was here as a student, so that was the determining factor for coming back and applying for a position here. Why did I go into the field of technology? It has nothing to do, a person would assume, it has nothing to do with social work and psychology. But the funny thing that I noticed is that it kind of does. I couldn't work in the field of social work and psychology because I felt I had to close a case and I had to say goodbye to the people that I had established a relationship with. Well, in the field of technology, I got interested in technology because I always used technology. My dad had a computer from the time I was young where he had to punch the numbers into it, and you know, there were these big, gaudy computers at the time. But I remember as I was starting to get older, my dad brought home this small little compact, almost like a tablet, except not, and it was a compact brand. And it was kind of my first experience with working with a computer, and it was really fascinating to me. I was still in college, taking all my social work and psych classes, and I thought that that was really impressive. When I worked in our family business, I did everything on the computer. I did accounts payable, accounts receivable, general ledger, payroll. In fact, I was doing everything with payroll. I couldn't even take a whole week off of work because I did payroll. And there was only one time that I took a whole week off, and my dad told me the only way I could was if I went out into the shop and I asked all the guys if they could get their paycheck on a Monday instead of a Friday. And they all knew I never took off work a whole week, so they said, yeah, you can pass on Monday. So I realized technology was something I was interested in. And when I came back to Lewis, I don't know if you know what this is, but when I came to Lewis, the computers we were working on here were DOS-based. Black screen with the white text, and I had already been working in a Windows environment in our family business, so I asked if I could bring my own computer here, and they let me. And I established a database for the accelerated nursing students on campus, and from that moment on, I've been working with technology on campus. So how does it relate to social work, and how did I get into this position I'm in now? I realized technology was more important to me than I ever imagined, and I get to work with students now and faculty or staff and help them better understand technology, and to work with them, help them learn what they need to know, and for them to get that aha moment is really rewarding. So I get to work with people every day like I would with social work or psychology, but I get to add in technology. So I get to get up every morning knowing that I love going to work and love doing what I'm doing. The most difficult life lesson that I learned was that life doesn't last forever. Sorry. I was only 22 when my brother committed suicide. My oldest child, my daughter, was only 7 months old when I got the phone call. And my mom told me that she said my brother had already died. But when I got to the house, to his house, I just went running into the house because I was looking for him, thinking he was still alive. I didn't know that I had already ran past him outside. And from that moment on, I never looked at life the same. So, life doesn't last forever. Live each moment to the fullest. Take advantage of opportunities when they knock on your door. And don't let precious moments slip by. Attitudes are contagious, for sure. If I'm in the worst possible mood and I walk by someone who has smiled at me, it's gonna brighten my day. I'm gonna be able to change. Remember that nothing is so terrible that I can't smile and get through the day, because somebody's probably struggling with something that's harder than what I'm going through. And if they can manage, so can I. Why am I a proponent of no smoking on campus or in general with the Great American Smokeout campaign that we have? I am a member of the USTAC committee, which is University Staff Affairs Committee. And as a member of that committee, I also serve as a member on the university's wellness committee. And based on that membership on the wellness committee, I've been a part of looking at smoking policies on campus and the Great American Smokeout that's held on campus each year. I grew up with my mom smoking. Actually, I grew up with several people in our family who smoked, and a lot of people have quit smoking. My mom still smokes. My son smokes. And I think growing up with my mom as a smoker, what I couldn't stand the most, what bothered me the most was once I left home, I could just smell smoke on me. And that was something that I just really couldn't handle. And then I would notice as I was older and my husband and I would go out and we were at a party and people were smoking, and then we would go home. My husband doesn't smoke either. We could just smell smoke on us. And it was like the biggest turnoff that I could ever imagine. And so apart from that, there are just so many things about smoking that are unhealthy for the smoker and for the people around the smoker, the secondhand smoke, that I just wanted to try and make a difference and try and help other people break that bad habit. There are a lot of bad habits out there that people should break, and we can't fix everything, so we have to choose the battles that we want to take on, and getting people to quit smoking is just one of them. So I'm hoping that we can get more people to quit smoking. Life lessons that I hope my children pass on to my grandchildren, probably that family is most important. Nothing, not work, not friends, not anything is more important than family. And I hope that my children realize that They need to always be there for their children through the good times and the bad. And there's so many things out there that are bad. Something else that I've dealt with was my son being addicted to heroin. And I'm really lucky that he's here. He's lived through it to talk about how bad it is. We're really fortunate he's still here today. And I hope that he saw how supportive my husband and I were through all the terrible things he did while he was on drugs. And I hope that he and my daughter both realize that life's not easy. So you just gotta get through the good days and the bad days and be there to support your children through the tough times too. Thank you for watching Lewis Spotlight, and I hope you've learned from some of my life lessons.